I want to talk about people who have such great genetics that they do not have to diet and they do not have to work out and they're in awesome shape. Okay? And I'm saying this because there are two people that I know or knew who were like that. I knew both of them when I was in the Army just decades ago. Okay? And one of them, he was extremely strong. He was just jacked and ripped and incredibly athletic, had incredible endurance. I mean, he had like an incredible body. He looked good. He was strong. He was explosive. He was agile. He could run forever. I mean, he had, just like in terms of, development, like the perfect body. And the other guy had a very aesthetic body, He had enough muscle that you could see that he was muscled and enough separation and a little bit of abs. Nothing sick that would scare the women away, but a little bit of abs and stuff like that. He looked really good. Great beach body, okay? And neither one of them, okay, went to the gym every day, and neither one of them fucking counted their calories or their macros and fucking whatever, okay? So let me go ahead and explain to you how this works, that you don't have to work out and you can eat whatever you want. Okay. One Saturday morning, or maybe it was even a Sunday morning, I woke up, okay? I was in the Army. I was completely fucking exhausted, probably hungover. Somebody's knocking on the door, okay? I go ahead and I answer the door, and it was the guy, the jacked and ripped and incredible endurance guy. He's standing there just huffing and puffing, completely soaking wet, okay? Completely covered in mud, okay? Because this was Texas. It was the summertime. There's just this nasty powdery dust everywhere. It's not even sand. It's a powdery dust everywhere, okay? He's covered with it, but he's also covered with water. So that means his shirt, which he's trying to get off, but he can't really because it's tight because he's fucking jacked, and his muscles are tearing it apart anyway. So he's trying to get his, his PT top off and, and it's just all disgusting. His face, it looks like he's wearing like camouflage makeup because he's covered in mud, okay? But then because of the way he's sweating, he has like these trails of water dripping down his face that are washing away some of the mud and the dust. So he has like different shades of different colors all over him. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to you? He looked like somebody dragged him behind a fucking truck. So he's like, oh man, so I woke up and nobody else was awake and I wanted to get something to eat, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait until everybody else gets up. So I decided I'm gonna go for a run. And all those hills on the range road? For the people who don't know, and everybody in the military knows this, the range road is like a long road that goes through the middle of nowhere, and there are like little, driveways, like left and right. You pull off the range road to go to the different ranges, okay? And that's where you fire your weapons. So because you're firing everything from a pistol to a rifle to a rocket to a tank to artillery to whatever, there's usually a hill at the back to keep you from shooting past the limits of the range and fucking killing somebody. So he decided he wanted to run way the hell out into like the horizon, and then he wanted to do sprints up and down these hills, okay? Even though it was Saturday or Sunday, there are still people training out there, so they're obviously not going to allow him to run up and down those goddamn hills while they're literally dropping bombs out of jet fucking goddamn airplanes, okay? So he basically ran miles out there, realized he couldn't get onto any of those hills, started running back, went through the woods, got lost in the woods, ended up running through like a big creek or a damn river or a swamp or whatever, getting completely soaking wet, running back along the road, was dusty as hell. Every time a truck passed, he'd just get completely covered in dust, okay? He did that. He must have been gone for like an hour and a half, and then he shows up before I even woke up. Like, he woke me up, and to knock on my door. He's like, oh, so, yeah, man, so, so now I'm here. You want to get something to eat? So this is the thing. I never go to the gym unless I actually plan it out. Monday I do this, and Tuesday I do this, and I'm there at this time, and I leave at that time, and these are the workouts I do, and this, 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 okay? So the thing is with this guy, he never had a workout schedule. He never, quote, worked out. But guess what? He was fucking constantly working out. It never occurred to me to just fucking get up and do a workout. Yes, I am the kind of person that will wake up on a Saturday or Sunday morning and go kill myself running up and down hills. And I would probably plan it 3 Mondays before. I wouldn't just like wake up and like, well, I'm gonna get out of bed and go run. It's just not me, okay? I'm not naturally somebody who does that. I have to plan everything. But for him, he doesn't, okay? He's the kind of guy that will fucking, he used to live over wherever the hell it was that Fort Drum was in New York City, in New York State. Okay, as a civilian. And he was working construction on post as a civilian. And he says there was like an airfield or just a giant field. And they had different work areas, okay? And, they had like trucks that would shuttle people from like one work area to the other. And he says like, he wouldn't take the truck. He would just run like with his tools, whatever bags he had and shit. He would run like 1,000 meters from one area to the next, or 1,500 to whatever, like a kilometer or so from one area to the next, and try to beat the truck there. That would never have occurred to me. But that's the kind of thing he does. He's working there, hammering nails or doing whatever construction work he does. Oh, we need to go over to this area. Fine, I'll race you there. It just runs over there, okay? And then continues to work, okay? He wakes up on a Sunday and just tries to go ahead and run up and down hills while people are shooting missiles at him. He just naturally did that shit. He told me one story about how he dropped 300 pounds on his chest. He had a garage with a weight bench with 300 pounds literally loaded up. Probably because he's the kind of person that wakes up in the morning and does a couple reps with 300 pounds before he goes to work. When he comes home, he probably does a couple reps before he goes into the house. I don't fucking know. Maybe he wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to the fucking garage. But the bottom line is they're hanging out drinking. He has this weight bench with 300 pounds loaded up. And he says he did like 2 reps. And then he says like the 3rd rep, he could actually like see his like thumb opening up and like the bar rolling off of his thumb and just drop the weight down on his ribs. And everybody in the room runs and they're like trying to pick this up off of him. And he's got bruised ribs. He says he never went to the doctor, probably had broken ribs or whatever. But that's the kind of thing that this guy did. He'd be hanging out with the guys drinking and decide to do 300-pound bench presses for fucking reps. Okay? So the next time that you see somebody who like, well, I'd never really go to the gym, they probably don't realize it because they don't sit down like me with a pencil and a piece of paper and a fucking calculator and a calendar and make a schedule of what exercises when and how they're going to progress and stuff. They probably just fucking work out all the time. They probably just constantly fucking work out, okay? Bruce Lee was both of them. Bruce Lee was the kind of person who constantly had like little, and you could read books of like his day runner where he would plan his workouts and this is his new workout, this is his new workout and whatever. But then you'd have people like Chuck Norris who said like he'd walk into his office and he'd be sitting there reading a book and just, doing bicep curls with a dumbbell. He'd just leave the dumbbell there. He'd be like, yeah, whatever, just do some bicep curls while he's reading a book. He says he walked into his living room and he's like on his back with his legs up. Brandon Lee, his son, is like, bouncing up on his stomach. He's using his breath to like bounce his kid up on his stomach. And he's doing like some kind of like, dumbbell exercise with his arms. He just did shit constantly and he did shit according to a schedule. He's the best of both worlds. But like I said, so when you see somebody who like never works out, that's probably fucking what's going on. They're probably constantly working out, but they never think about it. It just naturally occurs to them that they walk down the street and they see a tree branch and they do some pull-ups. And then the other guy that I was going to talk about is, the guy who had like the model physique. Okay. I asked him, I'm like, you're in pretty good shape. Do you lift or do you work out or whatever? He's like, no. Like, okay. Did you ever work out? I mean, you're in pretty good shape. He's like, yeah, I swam a little bit when I was in, I was in high school and whatever, got into modeling a little bit, but I wasn't really doing that good with it. So I joined the Army. I'm like, okay, cool. Now that I think about it, this guy was never on a diet. This guy never counted his calories. He never counted his macros. But guess what else? This guy never ate shit. I have seen him smoke. I've never seen him run around with a pack of cigarettes, hitting one after another. Okay? Yes, I did see him smoke once in a while, but I've never seen him just chain smoking, okay? I've never seen him drinking coffee with all kinds of sugar and crap in it. I've never seen him running around with sodas. I've seen him drink alcohol, but it was like maybe 1 or 2 nights a week he'd have a drink or 2. He wouldn't just sit there and drink like a case of beer watching TV. I've never seen him run around with a bag of Doritos or a fucking pint of ice cream. He would basically wake up in the morning, do PT with everybody else, go to the dining facility because chow hall has a negative connotation. He'd go to the dining facility and he'd have breakfast. He wouldn't eat crap. He would just eat, a little bit of, maybe an omelet and, maybe some food here, maybe grab a little bit of fruit or whatever, drink some water, whatever. That was it. Okay. Lunch, he'd have a normal lunch. Yeah. Maybe at dinner or lunch, he might have like a piece of cake, but it wasn't like an entire cake. He had like a little piece of cake. Okay. So the thing is, once again, with me, if I'm not on a diet, I'm going to eat shit all day. If I'm not on a workout schedule, I'm never going to do anything. Whereas these people just are naturally like that, okay? With me, I smoke cigars every once in a while. I don't smoke 10 cigars a day. I don't smoke them every day. I don't even smoke them every week, okay? I usually go for a long walk with my girlfriend twice a month, maybe once a week. We get out somewhere, we go for a walk, we grab a cup of coffee, a cigar, and we just go ahead and we talk, okay? Drinking, okay? I don't specifically say I'm not going to drink because I swear before God and this is my religious belief or whatever. It just doesn't occur to me to drink alcohol, Okay, so like that's the way that these people are with other things. They don't specifically go on a diet, but they don't have the need to overindulge in food. Okay, they don't necessarily work out, but they're constantly working out. So like I said, this is just the laws in general. Okay, whether it's the law of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out, or whatever it is, whatever law you're talking about, laws don't change for people. Okay. If you see somebody who's never on a diet, he's still, if he's thin, not eating more than he's burning. It just maybe comes naturally to him to not eat more than he burns, okay? He just naturally doesn't have a favorite food. He doesn't fucking eat when he's happy. He doesn't eat when he's sad. He doesn't eat when he's bored. He just eats very little, okay, and does other stuff for fun. This guy fucked a whole lot. He had a whole lot of sex, okay? Instead of sitting around drinking and eating fucking potato chips, he would go out and have sex. Okay? And like I said, this other guy who I knew who was in really good shape, it was the same thing with him. He never had a workout schedule. Okay? But I will tell you, he was constantly working out. So, like I said, that's just the way it works with people. When you get somebody who's like, oh, well, he's never on a diet, but he's always in shape. Well, he's also never eating crap. Okay? And, the other person who's like, oh, he doesn't work out. He doesn't belong to a gym, but he's probably constantly working out. Okay, so like I said, before you go ahead and make an excuse, that's basically what it is. I myself know, as I've said, that I cannot eat carbohydrates, okay, or I will go overboard. I cannot eat off of a diet. If I do not monitor what I'm going to eat, I will go overboard. I know that if I do not schedule my workouts, what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, where I'm going to do it, when I'm going to get up to do it, I'm not going to work out, okay? I'm weak like that. I don't accidentally eat under my maintenance calories. I don't accidentally eat healthy food. I don't accidentally work out. I have to fucking plan it and I have to fucking hold myself to it. I have to be disciplined, okay? I know myself. So, like I said, that's just the way it is with me, unfortunately. But like I said, if you're, the kind of person who, thinks that some people just have it naturally, all they have naturally is like they lack the desire to be lazy and to overeat, okay? It doesn't mean that they don't have to work out. It doesn't mean that they could eat whatever they want. It just means eating whatever they want is not a whole lot of food, okay? And they don't have to work out because they're constantly doing something active. All right, so go ahead and think about that. And like I said, if you're somebody like me who doesn't fall into either of those categories, you could either be a piece of shit or you could go ahead and get yourself under control and monitor your diet and monitor your workouts just like I have to, because otherwise I'd be a big, fat, disgusting piece of shit myself.